Indubitably.
So I've seen this story now a couple times on the internet, and it's apparently not a new story, but for whatever reason, I've been seeing some people on YouTube who've been covering it. And it's the story of Henry, the world's first generation of male sex robots. So I saw this and I was like, I'm going to talk about this in the spirit of my YouTube channel, just being a channel about whatever kind of I find interesting or fascinating. I'm just going to roll with it. So I saw a couple people talking about this online, and then I did a little bit of research, emphasis on a little, because I found that the more you tried to research Henry, the more unusual the rabbit hole got. And so I backed out before things got a little too crazy, but I found a little bit of information. I'm going to share it. So Henry is built by a company called Realbotics. The starting price for Henry is about $11,000 all the way up to $50,000. The general price being somewhere between like 11 and 15,000. We'll just say 15,000 for the sake of this discussion. So the first thing that pops out about Henry and this company Realbotics, I skimmed the article. I didn't see where this company is based out of. I'm curious why the images that the company decided to promote, they make Henry look like an action hero or an actor from like one of those like raunchy sax comedies from the 80s. He just has that kind of funny like action star 1980s like hairstyle and face. I'm sure you can customize him any way you want, but it's just funny that the image that they're promoting the most is this really funny looking one. You know, he's got kind of that Yo Adrian look on his face. But because he's a robot, I'm sure you can program his voice to sound however you want it to sound. So maybe you want him to he looks like he does, but he sounds like Hugh Grant. So when he's talking, he's just like, "Oh, what? You just look simply ravishing, and I'd love to, if I could partake of your hand tonight, perhaps I." For the record, I've never actually seen a Hugh Grant film. I know what he looks like, so I just assume he's got kind of a foppish voice like that. So bear with me. Anyways, from what I could see, it appears that Henry is 5'11". So right off the bat, a lot of women will reject him because he's not a true 6-foot Chad. And this might anger some feminists, but I couldn't find a weight on Henry, but he's 5'11" and a robot. I'm guessing he weighs quite a bit. Let's just say, for the sake of the discussion, he weighs 100 pounds, which I'm guessing he weighs more than that. The average woman can't lift 100 pounds. So I don't know if he's got a function where he can walk around and kind of roll into bed on his own. If he doesn't, I think you just have to leave him in the bed all the time. Anyways, so I've been thinking, obviously way too much on this subject, but I was wondering just what the demographic will be of people that would want to buy a Henry Lover doll. And if I were to guess, I would say there'd be a good percentage of maybe very well-to-do gay businessmen that would probably purchase a Henry doll. Maybe some celebrities because they can afford it. And both either gay or straight celebrities. Like some of them I think would just get them as kind of a gag gift for some of their friends. Then I think there'd be quite possibly the biggest percentage of people that would buy a Henry Love doll would be kind of that rugged, still in the closet kind of guy who, for whatever reason, even though it's completely acceptable in this day and age, just doesn't want people to know that he's part of that fraternity. Maybe it's like a big burly construction worker, and he's got all these guys that look up to him, and they're like, "Oh man, you must get all the ladies," and he's yeah, you know it. But maybe he's got like this apartment on the side from his home, and his wife who's completely unaware, and he's just going there like on the weekends, and Henry's waiting for him. So there's probably those guys that would make up a percentage of people that would buy such a thing. Then there's probably a smaller percentage of men that have just had these fantasies about another man having sex with their wife while they're watching. And then the very last group of people who might buy this type of thing would be a woman. And I don't think very many women would ever consider spending the kind of money that it would take to get a Henry in their life. So in conclusion, I'm not threatened at all by the prospect of a male lover bot entering the arena. For one thing, just from the comedic aspect of it, I mean, how long before there's a reality show just based on Henry? And is this what Andrew Yang envisioned when he was talking about the automaton future? Did he just envision all these like shirtless, six-packed Henry male lover bots just taking over the GM plant, working 20 hours a day without a break, and then going home and just taking care of business with some disenfranchised woman? If that is the future, I say,
Hello, Henry.